On the back of the certification of limited edition, ooh, you have yourself a... Hey there, y'all. Bunkle here. I hope you've been having a great day. Hope every day is a blessed day for you and y'all. So continuing along on the oddball baseball card, and you know what? I'm going to end up getting into other sports as well, but for right now, it's oddball baseball cards of the 80s and 90s, or oddball baseball card sets of the 80s and 90s. I got here this little box. Now, these are 1991 classic. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. It's coming through kind of blurry. And these are 1991 classic baseball draft picks. Only 330,000? 330,000? Yeah, 330,000 limited edition hobby sets were made. And it includes an exclusive bonus card. Now, cool numbered card on the back right there. That's number 141, 476 out of 330,000. And look, you have a facsimile autograph by whoever it is, the CEO of Classic Games and the GM, the general manager of Classic Games. So pretty cool stuff, I guess. I mean, now, all of these players, they were the top draft picks, 1991 players that they were thought were going to make it, and maybe some of them did. I don't know. I've never opened one of these. I don't know what's in there, but I do see Brian Taylor. Now, if you want to talk about a can't-miss prospect, well, he was it until he missed. Anyway, let's pop this box and see what we find in here. Now, this was obviously previously open because I didn't have to, get it out, like unsticky it or anything like that. So, on the back of the certification of limited edition, ooh, you have yourself a checklist. Yeah, seizure-inducing checklist somebody mentioned earlier this week. That's pretty funny. So, whole list of names. See if there's anybody on there we know. We know Brian Taylor, that's for sure. Dimitri Young, he definitely was up playing for a bit. Shawn Estes, Doug Glanville, Manram. Okay, Manny Ramirez, Cliff Floyd. Pretty cool. Manny being Manny in there. That's pretty cool. Okay. Who else? I don't see anybody there. Let's see. Who else? Nope. Frankie Rodriguez, a bonus card. Okay. So anyway, let's go through these and see what we find and see if we know anybody here. I mean, maybe we do, although I do hear some stickage going on there, so that's not good. But then again, the old-timey photo paper that they were using on these and other cards at the time, yeah, see, got Snap, Crackle, Pop, you got Rice Krispies going. So we got number 1, Brian Taylor. Now, the can't-miss prospect that absolutely missed. I mean, that was just a sad story. I mean, could have been everything to the Yankees, or they thought he was going to be, and yeah, it didn't turn out that way. Okay. Yeah, this stickage is not very cool. Okay, we got Jason Pruitt. He's number 30. Greg Anthony. And I do know that there was a Greg Anthony playing Major League Ball for a little while. I'm not sure if that's the same one. Born in 1971. Wow. Justin Thompson. So that makes him 20 when that picture was taken. Remember, this is 1991 cards. All right, what's next here? We have Justin Thompson. Steve Whitaker. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about Steve Whitaker. Yeah, I had to run outside real quick because Mrs. Bunkle has an arch up over this little wooden bridge that's on a property here. And the arch just seems to keep getting pulled up and messed up with the wind. All right, so we got Scott Ruffcorn. His name sounds familiar also. Brett Gates. Scott Staboviak. Tom McKinnon. Shawn Livesey. Jorge Fabregas. Jeff Ware. All the hope and dreams and everything else of These players that came up, they were drafted, top draft picks, Bobby Jones, and hopes, dreams of the fans of these teams that thought they were going to be somebody. And yeah, in most cases, nope. I mean, the number of top draft picks that don't make it versus the number of low draft picks that do make it, it's pretty wild, actually, if you look at the stats. Very rarely does, like, anybody in the top 5 do you get more than 2 or maybe 3 out of the top 5 that actually end up having a great career. Mike Rossiter. Now, is that because of bad scouting? Pokey Reese. That's Calvin Reese, but he became Pokey. You got to wonder, I mean, is it because of scouting or they had tools and they just couldn't evolve? They couldn't play. Some of them get injured, of course. Alan Watson, I mean, you can't, like, predetermine injury prone or anything. Brian Barber. Aaron Seeley. Now, he definitely pitched for a while. John Farrell. Dan Chalowski. Jimmy Gonzalez. Now, he just looks like he's hanging out, having a good time. Trevor Miller. What a fake pitch there. Terry Horn. At least that looks like he's throwing for real almost. Scott Hattenberg. That might actually be game. Yeah, look, there's players and everything else there. Mike Kelly. Yep, another one that looks like it's a live game shot. Eddie Ramos, looking like Mr. Tough Guy there. Eduardo Perez. And Al Shirley. Stop calling me Shirley. Good movie. I always liked Airplane. Don't call me Shirley. Okay. Benji Hill. He played a few years. I know that. Mike Grapuso. Now, some people would say that this is TTM gold because you know what? There's some players that made it, some that didn't. You know, TTM through the mail to get autographs. Probably do that. Ryan Long. Eddie Williams. Wonder how often people still run across Manny Ramirez in the Heights. Eddie Williams. Mike Durant. Not as much as they used to, I'm sure. Buck McNabb. There was actually this restaurant in East Harlem that I would go to every once in a while that A-Rod would go to before he got to the Yankees. It was pretty cool. Whenever he was in town visiting. I'm not sure if he went there after he signed, after he got to the Yankees. But I know before that he was. They had pictures and a glove and all sorts of other stuff. That was Shawn Estes, Doug Glanville. Now, he had his cup of coffee. There goes Man Ram. That's pretty cool. I like to say he's a New York representative. Went to George Washington High School in the Heights, kind of right across the river from where I went to high school. Got Cliff Floyd. I went to high school in the Bronx. Tyrone Hill. I mean, he was in high school after I'd already left. So, a couple of years behind me, but still. Jimmy Lewis. Kids from his high school used to come and mess around in ours. Kids from ours used to mess around in his. John Barnes. Sean Curran. Tommy Adams. Definitely wild times in the city back then. Now too, but I think things are different. Got Trevor Mallory. I mean, I'm sure in some ways they are, and in other ways they're not. Dave McCarthy. Well, I would say back in those days, the cops had teeth. Now their teeth have been kind of knocked out. Dimitri Young. But then again, even back then, I would say that they definitely knew how to overstep their boundaries a whole lot. There were no boundaries. Dimitri Young, he had his cup of coffee, that's definite. Joey Vitello, Mark Smith, Tyler Green, and Frankie Rodriguez, shortstop. Yeah, it's not the same Frankie Rodriguez that was later a pitcher and other things, not that I'm aware of. Either way, cool, interesting, oddball baseball card set from 1991. My favorite one, you got Manny just being Manny there, hanging out and chilling. Cliff Floyd, very cool. A couple others, but definitely an oddball baseball card set from the 90s. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think about this little set. I mean, only 330,000 produced. If any of these would have been like Hall of Famers, oh, that would have been cool. But nope, not these. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. As I said, y'all take care. Stay well. Stay blessed. Bonk out.